Man, so we talked about the preparation phase, the generation phase. Now we're on to the fun stuff, the multiplication phase, right? Now, without the multiplication, we wouldn't even be here, right? Like, this is the phase that really got everything kicked off. It really set a lot of things off, man. Like, this is the fun stuff that got, Chico started. Like, initially the 16 people, you probably heard us talk about it, but the 16 people we were in a group with, it was because of this phase: trading, investing, and real estate, right? These three things, man, are some strong pillars when it comes to building wealth. Like, this is something that I've learned. I've had conversations with a lot of rich people, a lot of wealthy people with a lot of money. Every single time they're involved with one of these. If either they're investing in some businesses, they're trading, they're involved in the financial markets, or they're building a real estate portfolio that's very strong. If it's rental portfolio, they might be in fix or flip, they might be in Airbnb, something, you name it, right? So, I mean, this is something that I'm excited about, man. And this is where Francis and myself really got close. Like, Francis was all deep, neck deep. I mean, we went to Miami on this phase, you know what I'm saying? Like, we went crazy, you know what I'm saying? Francis was always talking about the financial markets. I was a sponge for the knowledge, got really involved with it, got my friends in it, started teaching. Francis started teaching everybody in the group, man. And next thing you know, man, people are quitting their jobs, turning in their badges, et cetera, man. Life changing here and there. Myself, I went through this phase and literally became financially free, was able to fire my job, my 9-to-5 job, when I was ready. And again, Francis said, you never think I'm somebody that will essentially get out of my 9-to-5, but, I was able to really build a skill set strong enough and really become comfortable enough to be able to fire my 9-to-5 job, man. So this is something that I'm excited about. I'll let Francis, touch on this because I believe he has a lot of value to really provide y'all. So make sure you dial in, take your pen and paper, take some notes because you're going to need it, man. Let's talk about some, some trading stories. Let's talk about some, frameworks that people could use, like man. The certs, all that, man.
Well, listen, so, when it comes to multiplication, like Jay said, this is a very fun stage. Once you get to this stage, once you got your foundation set, you got a way to generate you some income. The multiplication phase is probably the most fun phase when it comes to wealth generation that there can be, to me. You got so many options when it comes to multiplying your money. When it comes to trading, you got stocks, Forex, futures, crypto. You got day trading, swing trading, long swinging, all types of things, right? You got investing. You can invest in the stocks and crypto long term. You got real estate. You know how many different factors of real estate, different facets of real estate you got? You got land development, mobile home investing, short-term rentals, you got rental portfolios, there's so many things, event spaces, there's so many aspects to real estate that you can get into. So multiplication is a very, very fun stage, which is why most people tend to try to jump right into multiplying money that they barely even have. And I'm one of those people. Like when Jay said, if you go back to the previous conversation we had earlier, Jay and I met during the phase. He was in his generation phase. My man was out here hustling. He was out here working, getting to the bag, doing his thing as a property manager. Myself, on the other hand, I had just lost everything. At this time when I met him, I was down bad. I literally had got into real estate. I multiplied $5,000 to over $200,000 trading crypto.
That's powerful.
Had some of that money also tied up, investing into real estate projects. Even went out and raised outside capital in order to get into real estate projects. I had hard money loans out there, hard money lenders. I had a private money partner that was all tied up in the 5 real estate projects that I had at the time. And I'm thinking that, okay, project went over budget here, project went over budget there. We got 5 projects out. I'm over leveraged to my teeth, right? I'm out in Baltimore flipping houses like I'm crazy. And I'm thinking, okay, I can deal with all that stuff because why? I also flipped $5,000 into $200,000 in crypto, and I have that money that's sitting there just in case things go wrong with the projects. I could always throw an extra $25,000 to make sure the project goes right. And this is where a lot of it starts to go wrong. I hadn't generated an income from anywhere else. I got into real estate. Let me go back a step further. When I got into real estate, I had $1,000 to my name. I literally put $1,000 down on an earnest money deposit on a property in Baltimore. The property was $90,000 with an after repair value of $230,000, or so I thought, right? Put the $1,000 down. That's all I have to my name. I'm out with my friends. Me and my friends are tearing down the siding. We're doing all the work ourselves. I got a hard money lender to basically put up 75% of the value of the purchase price and 100% of the construction cost, but I still needed 25% to come to the table and to closing. I didn't have that. So I found a gap lender who came in and gave the rest of the 25% in exchange for 50% interest, which sounds crazy. But at the end of the day, the numbers worked out so that I would still, if I was successful in the deal, walk off the table with about $25,000 to $30,000 in profit. So I had all my friends come out and help with the demolition. You know, we all pitched in and tore the walls down. We ripped the siding off, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that allowed me to kind of get the project going. And if you know anything about hard money loans, you know that the draw schedule is set to where you do the construction, hit a certain phase, and then they release the construction funds back to you. So we went out, we did all the demolition ourselves, and then I got money back for doing the demolition. So then I took that money and then I would go pay a contractor to do the framing. Right. Then the framing would get done and I get money back from the framing and I go do something else, right? Yeah. And so it was just a long process of robbing Peter to pay Paul, robbing Peter to pay Paul. I didn't have any income of my own to put into the multiplication through real estate. I'm leveraging everything else. I'm over leveraged everywhere. And when one domino falls and goes down, the rest starts to fall with it. So fast forward a few years now, everything came crashing down. All 5 of my real estate projects went under. It was just a really rough time. I got about 8 gray hairs on my body right now, specifically from this time period. I mean, I was down bad. Lost a relationship, you know, during this time. We had all types of craziness going on, a lot of money strains. That person's business failed. You know, we were both entrepreneurs. Her business failed, my business was failing. It just was a whole mess, right? Basically trying to, you know, at that point,
get back.
Bro, this is the ultimate bounce back. I actually got back into things that I probably shouldn't have had no business in, right? But, you know, moved out to DC where it was, you know, cannabis is slightly legal, right? And so we started doing some things out there. And it just was a whole situation, just trying to get back on my feet. I got a son to take care of. He's 5 years old at the time. He's 11 now, but he's like 5 years old at the time. I'm like, you know, I meet Jay through a mutual friend, and that mutual friend basically worked in property management with Jay. And I said, listen, man, I need a place to stay. I got to get back on my feet, right? They hooked me up with a apartment to stay at, right? Through one of their connections. They get me in the door at a nice apartment in Alexandria, Virginia. And that's where this whole story started to take off. So during this time, I'm literally trying to grind it out. Jay, actually, to this day, I'm gonna tell you something funny right now, actually. To this day, I actually still have Jay's Uber Eats account, Uber account on my phone because at the time, I needed to drive Uber to make some money, but my license was suspended also.
That's a fact.
So Jay let me use his Uber account to do Uber driving, and I'll break him off a percentage of my earnings, and that's how I started to get back on my feet. I also used to, I had a white van that I used to go out and pick up scooters, like the Uber scooters and Lyft scooters and stuff, and I'd charge them up in their apartment building. They gave me an extra unit that I literally would take scooters in and charge them up. My shits were busted to hell. I'm talking about like, if y'all ever have seen the scooters or rode the scooters, you know those are not regular scooters. These are not razor. These are not razor scooters. And the razor scooters used to bust your knees up pretty bad, you bust your shins up pretty bad. These are
10 times heavier
scooters. So these things are busting my knees up. So this is literally what I had to go through to generate an income. So you guys gotta keep in mind, I'm a felon at the time, right? I'm not too far from just coming home. Didn't have any real job skills. I'm not super employable. I don't enjoy working for other people. I'm not a great employee. I don't like to show up on time. I'm just not the person to hire. And
now,
so,
mind you, even though he doesn't have these things, he's still willing to work hard for his freedom, right? You can't have both. You can't not want to work 9 to 5 and then not work for your freedom too. That's a double negative. Can't have that.
That's a fact. That is a very good fact, man, because at the end of the day, I just have ambition. I've always had ambition to be great at something. And so for all you guys out there who are starting from the ground up, you're trying to make a way, you're trying to make a way for yourself and for your family, it's okay if you don't currently have skill sets that are making you a lot of money. What's not okay is not having the ambition to go out there and pursue those skill sets so that you can start to increase your capacity to generate an income, but then also multiply that income. Also, a lot of you guys out there trying to skip steps, you don't have a consistent source of income. Maybe you got $2,000 or $3,000 from a student refund check or PPP loan or whatever it may be, right? The first thing you do is you try to go out there and multiply that money through trading. I hear so many people out there say, oh, I got this lump sum check that I just got, a settlement check or a student refund check or a tax refund check, and I want to flip it in the market. No, the first thing you need to do is you need to take that income and you need to find a way to generate more income like a business or a side hustle. And once you have that consistent income, that free cash flow, then go out there and put it into the markets or real estate so that you can have a little bit more peace of mind, because with multiplication, the risk is a lot greater. And anything when it comes to making money, risk and reward is always gonna be like this, right? The greater the risk, the greater the reward. That's just the bottom line. So multiplication comes with a lot of reward, but also a lot of risk. So you wanna make sure that you're not playing with the house's money. That's basically what we wanna do. Now, I say all that, but at the same time, my personal story is a little bit different. I did flip my money through multiplication, but I started generating income through the Ubers and the scooters. It wasn't a lot of income, but it was an income. And I also already had the skill set of trading. I'd been trading for years prior to this. So it wasn't much of a learning curve, right? I already had flipped $5,000 to $200,000 trading crypto. I just was being too cocky and over greedy and lost that money by being not having proper risk management. So I knew how to multiply my money already. So I took that little bit of money from Uber and all this other type of stuff. These guys watched me go from the point where I was literally collecting these scooters and making pennies to literally flipping that into $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. I think it was like $40,000 I made trading MoneyGram stock back in like 2017, 2018. And turned those pennies into $40,000. And me and this guy literally, we took that. I had to listen.
We literally jetted out to Miami, man. This was legendary. I'm talking like the vibes was just immaculate. Man, like literally, we got to Miami. We went to.
You can't even skip Miami. We went to Dungarats first. We went to our spot, Dungarats, our Thai spot.
Oh my God, this Dungarats spot, man. I'm talking the crispy duck. Different out there. The fried rice
had lunch at a Thai spot.
Crazy.
And while we're there, we literally started talking, just contemplate like, damn, we came up on this money. We gotta go do something, man. We gotta go ball out of Miami or something like that. So we end up in Miami.
Man, so we end up in Miami, man. I'm talking the next day, mind you. I pulled up Skip Lag. I'm like, yo, what flights we going? Boom. The next day we're in Miami, Friday. You know what I'm saying? We got to Miami, man.
All types of
shenanigans.
And shenanigans, right?
You name it. We were out there, you know what I'm saying? We got our haircuts, you know what I'm saying? We pulled up to a nice little cigar spot, got our cigar on, got the chest on,
they playing
some, nice music. Yeah, man.
So we end up in Miami, basically. Long story short, we end up in Miami, we balling out, we got the 40,000. You know, I'm like, look, man, everything on me, we about to ball out here. We go get jet skis, we go out down on the strip, we go to restaurants, we link up with some people that we know out in Miami, had a great time, had a blast, had a ball.
Yeah.
Next day, this guy get ready. He's like, man, listen, man, I gotta head back for work. I'm like, I don't know what you talking about, man.
With my benefits set up, I gotta get back.
He gotta get back, man. I'm like, listen, man, I'm going to Puerto Rico. So I end up calling a little lady friend of mine. I fly her out to Puerto Rico with me. You know what I'm saying? We go out because I needed some companionship. I wasn't gonna go to Puerto Rico by myself.
Flew them out.
Just flew out, fly out. You know how we do when we get a little bit of money, right? You know, we get a little bit of money, we start getting beside ourselves. So we go out to Puerto Rico, have a good time. Long story short, cool it. Come back to the States, and now I'm back to revamping. Got 20, 30,000, and this is right before the market starts to tank. This is where everything really starts to pick up. And the whole point of what we're trying to get at here is, throughout this time period, we literally I went from a little bit of money to a lot of money in a very short period of time. At this point, Jay's still working his 9-to-5 income. These are two different pathways of generation. I'm generating income through, scooters and Ubers and things. He's generating income through 9-to-5. Because I already had the skill set of multiplication, I was able to multiply my income at a faster rate than Jay was able to do with 9-to-5. But guess what? When I was able to transfer that information from myself to Jay, and Jay learned how to multiply income, what ended up happening?
Started multiplying like a money printer. I thought I was the Federal Reserve, boy. I was out there multiplying. I got into a few stocks, man. I started really learning, like immersing myself in the information, man. I got into a few stocks, man, really hit some substantial amount of cash, man. And next thing you know, I was able to retire my 9-to-5. You know what I'm saying? I was able to fire my 9-to-5 and become a full-time entrepreneur as well as a full-time trader, investor. And man, it's just a game changer from there.
Right. I'm gonna tell you guys a real story.
Yeah, nah, it's legendary.
We hit another little spot called Bar Louie around
it's
our
always when
neighborhood.
we eat, man.
We sitting there eating. This man looking at his portfolio.
Yep.
He's up like 40,000, 40,000 on a trade, on one trade. He's like, man. He's like, dude, I'm losing money. I'm losing money on my trades
while I'm at work.
I could have had $60,000 or $70,000. I said, man, so what you gonna do? He said, man, you know what? Bump this.
Yeah.
Picked up his phone and literally texted his boss and said, hey, I'm not coming to work anymore.
Listen, it's one of them days, you know, when you go to work and like, you know, that boss been just under your nerves. It's just been like this after the next. And it's like, man, listen, I was like, yeah, man, listen, it's not making sense. The math is not mathing. So I was like, you know what? You know, I got to get up out of here. I was like, listen, man, I am not coming back. And the one thing about it, I don't suggest everybody quit like that, but I just was in a position where it was just different.
At least put your 2 weeks notice.
Yeah, at least put your 2 weeks notice. I just knew if they wanted to get rid of me, they weren't going to give me 2 weeks notice. But you know, I don't highly suggest it. You know, go the nice route if you need to.
That's a fact, y'all. So look, the whole moral of the story is this, right? It's all about skill set and skill set development.
Absolutely.
Once you're able to develop that skill set, you now are able to multiply income that you generate, whether it's through a 9-to-5, whether it's through picking up scooters, whether it's through whatever it may be that you got your income going through, you're able to multiply that through trading and investing. Don't do like I did in the first place where I didn't have an income the first time when I got into real estate, trying to multiply money through real estate, my little $1,000 that I had to my name, trying to multiply that. It worked for a little while.
Right.
And a lot of times, these things will work for some time. But ultimately, they will always come crumbling down if you do not take the proper precautions and if you do not take care of the first steps first, right? Always follow these rules, man. I promise you guys, you're gonna save yourselves a lot of time, a lot of headache trying to skip steps when you can just do it right from the beginning, right? If you really wanna go out there and change your life financially, make sure you guys are addressing these things. Get your banking in order, get your credit in order, get your personal finance in order. Generate an income through 9-to-5, business, or side hustles. Pick something to multiply that income through: stocks, forex, futures, crypto, right? I've done it through crypto, I've done it through stocks. I've done it through futures a little bit. Invest, learn how to invest in stocks, invest in crypto. Learn how to invest in real estate, right? I did it through real estate once, but it failed. Why? Because I skipped steps. So make sure you guys don't do that.